Hello, this is Herbert A. Brown Jr., Focus Winner. Today's message is, the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Matthew 26:41. Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Galatians 5:17. The sinful nature wants to do evil, which is just the opposite of what the spirit wants. And the spirit gives us desires that are the opposite of what the sinful nature desires. These two forces are constantly fighting each other so that you are not able to carry out your good intentions. Again, today's message is, the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Now, when God gave me this message, I'm like, why this message in the middle of a pandemic? Everybody's wearing a mask. Who's going to be tempted by somebody in the mask? You can't even see the girl's face. All I see is her eyes batting at me, but I can't see her face. She may not have any teeth. Why this message now, God? And I've given the message on temptation, I think 2 or 3 times, but it was always from the male perspective. And God really wanted me to emphasize that temptation is not only hits men, but also women. So you ladies that are looking at this video, this is not just for your husbands, your boyfriends, your brothers, your sons. This is for you, your sisters, your mothers, your aunties, your daughters, your nieces. This is for men and women. So I'm going to try to give it a good perspective for both sides. But the reason why Jesus warns us not to give in to temptation is not saying that not to have temptation, but not to give in to temptation. There's a difference, because most of us, if not all of us, will be tempted at some point in our life. But the key is, stay prayed up so that you do not give in to temptation. Now, I have some examples. I was working for the Treasury Department. I was examiner in charge of a bank in Phoenix, Arizona, and I had 3 brand new examiners, bank examiners, just recently graduated from college. And what you know is when you're young, you have your blood flowing, you're very, very susceptible to temptation. So the bank put us in a clear glass conference room, and the women in the bank went absolutely nuts, like they never saw men before in their life. They were sending us perfume messages constantly under the conference room door every day. These guys were all giddy. I was like, calm down, calm down, calm down. But you can see it from both sides. These guys are being tempted by the women in the bank, and the women saw something in us men that tempted them. So it's a two-way temptation. And what Jesus is warning us is that, that spirit's willing, but the body is weak. Now, later on, I was examiner in charge of another bank in Tucson, Arizona. And I was working in a room with my second in command, and the bank liaison, a young lady by the name of Janine, I believe her name was. We used to call her Little J because on a good day, she was 5 foot tall. She comes into the room, tells my second in command, Chris, get out! And she closes the door. And she tells me, I want you. I'm sorry, but I cannot carry on with you because I am in charge and I'm not allowed to do that during the exam. Maybe after the exam's over. She said, I won't see you after the exam. I want you now. And I'm like, no, I cannot do that. So a little bit later on, I'm eating with my coworkers at a restaurant. She happens to be there with her girlfriends. She gets on top of a table and screams, "I want him." I'm cleaning it up. That's not exactly what she said, but she says, "I want him." And I tell my coworkers, let's get out of here. This is trouble. It's not that I'm not tempted by her, because she's a very, very attractive young lady, but I can't do it. I gotta do my work, So a little bit later, I'm in my hotel room at the Sheraton, and I hear a faint knock on the door. I answer the door. "Hello?" Right there's this little J. She's naked. And folks, let me tell you, I don't know how much praying I needed, but I did give in to temptation. So Jesus knows the strong pull of the body. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Now, in terms of the pandemic, even now I'm prayed up. Believe me, I'm very prayed up, because I know temptation can hit you in the most surprising places. It can even hit you in church. It can hit you anywhere. So you have to stay prayed up and keep watch out, and so that you don't give in to temptation. So I just served on the Christmas Eve ceremony at my church. And so I go back to Ralph's and I have to pick up a few grocery store items. In the grocery store, I was hit by multiple temptation. Women were dressed so scantily, unbelievable. The shortest dresses, the most plunging necklines on the dresses, the tightest pants. I never seen anything like it. It looked like a nightclub. I don't go to nightclubs anymore. I don't go to bars anymore. But here in a grocery store, temptation everywhere. So you have to stay prayed up, because the spirit is willing, but the body is weak.